Today we've got a shocking discovery for the iPhone 18 Pro Max, as well as more confirmations on its specs. So before we get into the Pro Max, we've got some unexpected news about the base iPhone 18, and this is where things get a little bit surprising. According to Fixed Focus Digital on Weibo, Apple could actually be downgrading the display on the standard iPhone 18 due to rising component costs. Now it's still going to feature ProMotion, but we may see a reduction in peak brightness. While that might sound like a step backwards, it does make sense from Apple's point of view. It creates a clearer gap between the base model and the Pro models. Now that said, it still needs to at least match the brightness of the iPhone 17, otherwise it's going to feel like a noticeable downgrade. Now something else you can use to improve your iPhone though is with today's video sponsor, Wondershare Dr. Phone, an all-in-one toolkit for Android and iOS that solves pretty much any problem you can think of, including forgotten passwords or system repair tools, and even get past screen locks without passwords. So one of the highlight features is the screen unlock. Whether you forgot your password, bought a second-hand phone that's locked to an account, or even just forgot your Google account, thanks to Dr. Phone, you can access it. Normally, there's something called a factory reset protection lock on Android that prevents this without having the original login credentials, but Dr. Phone can take you through this in just a few clicks, and it supports many phone brands like Samsung, Xiaomi, Huawei, Honor, and more. For iPhones, we have the iCloud activation lock, and again, Dr. Phone can unlock your screen or bypass the iCloud lock for iPhones without the need for a jailbreak, and it even supports the latest iPhone 17 series on iOS 26.1. Now, of course, this is just one example of how Dr. Phone can help you. We've got loads of useful features from data recovery, setting a virtual GPS location, backing up and transferring all data including WhatsApp, as well as a toolbox to fix many issues for you. So whatever your problem, Dr. Phone has it covered, and you can go ahead and check it out now by clicking the link down in the description below. Now onto the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and this is where things start to get much more interesting, especially when it comes to the cameras. We've got a new post from Digital Chat Station backing up earlier reports, and it looks like Apple is making some serious upgrades here. Now first up, variable aperture is going to be on the primary camera. This means that the lens can physically adjust how much light enters the sensor. In darker environments, it opens wider for better low light shots, and in bright conditions, it narrows to improve sharpness and control exposure. It also gives much better control over depth of field rather than relying purely on software. And on top of that, he mentions a massive 1/1.12 inch primary sensor, and this would significantly improve light capture and overall image quality for both photo and video. We're also hearing about enhanced OIS for the ultra-wide lens, along with the potential 200 megapixel periscope camera. Now realistically, the variable aperture is very likely happening at this point, given how many sources are agreeing on it, and reports are also suggesting it's already entered production. A larger sensor and improved image processing also makes a lot of sense. But when it comes to a 200 megapixel periscope camera, I would personally take that one with a pinch of salt for now. Now another big upgrade is coming to the display. Reliable leaker Ice Universe reports that Apple is going to be using Samsung's new M16 OLED panel. That means better efficiency, higher brightness, and improved color accuracy in things that you'll notice in everyday use. There's also more, and we'll be getting a more usable screen space thanks to a reduction in the dynamic island. We've seen prototype images and leaked screen protectors showing that while the height stays the same, the width has significantly been reduced. The iPhone 17's dynamic island measured around 20.76mm, whereas the iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to drop to just 13.49mm, and that's a big difference, and that also confirms that the under-display Face ID just isn't happening yet. The components are still there, they're just in a much tighter layout. Now on the rest of the hardware front, we were expecting the new A20 Pro chip, along with Apple's in-house C2 modem. Now that combination is of course going to bring performance and efficiency gains, and we're also hearing reports of expanded satellite communication, not just for emergencies, but actual calls as well. Now battery also gets a small bump, with estimates putting it somewhere between 5,100 and 5,200 mAh. Now it's not a massive increase, but combined with the efficiency improvements, it should still result in real-world battery life. Now one area that's been all over the place is the color options. Last year Apple surprised us with limited choices, and this year it's got even more confusing. We initially heard that deep red was going to be the new hero color alongside something like a white and a black. Then another report suggested that there wasn't going to be a black model at all, the same as last year, and now the latest leaks are pointing towards a dark cherry as the hero color, alongside a light blue, dark grey and a silver. So at this point, if we're being honest, it looks like no one really knows. It's likely Apple is testing multiple color options internally, which is why we're seeing so many conflicting leaks. Now, as soon as we get any solid confirmation though, I'm going to be updating you guys straight away on the colors. But for those of you excited, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing for the iPhone 18 series, so hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we have the iPhone 18 Pro, and this raises the bar with a 6.3-inch LTPO Super Retina XDR OLED display running at 1 to 120 Hz. It's going to remain at 2622 by 1206 resolution, but of course we get higher peak brightness, thinner bezels, and a smaller dynamic island. We get a new 42 megapixel selfie camera on the front that's been moved to the top left of the display. And then over on the back, the Pro steps up to a triple camera system with a variable aperture, and that's a 48 megapixel main sensor, a 48 megapixel ultra wide, and then a new 64 megapixel periscope offering 5 to 10 times optical zoom. And all three are rumored to use stacked sensors for faster readout and better color depth. It's powered by the A20 Pro chip, which is manufactured on a 2nm node, and it's coming with 12GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage. And battery size is going to land around 4,300 mAh for the eSIM only model, with some big improvements to fast charging. Connectivity brings 5G, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, ultra wideband, and the new C2 modem. And it's of course going to ship with iOS 27, and pricing is expected to start from £1,099 or $1,099. Next up, we've got the iPhone 18 Pro Max, Apple's largest flagship model, and we get a 6.9-inch LTPO Super Retina XDR OLED display with a resolution of 2868 by 1320. It's still a 120Hz display with a record-breaking peak brightness and a smaller dynamic island. For the front camera, we get the same 42 megapixel camera we have on the Pro, and again it's been moved to the top left. And then over on the rear, we could see a 200 megapixel primary camera, a 48 megapixel ultra wide, and a 64 megapixel telephoto, of course with larger apertures and improved sensor readouts for even better zoom and night shots. Now it's running the same A20 Pro chip with 12GB of RAM, but this time we get up to 2TB of storage, and it also packs a much larger battery at 5,200 mAh for the eSIM only model, with improvements to wired and wireless charging. We get 5G, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, ultra wideband, and Apple's C2 modem. And of course, it's running iOS 27, and it's expected to launch around £1,199, well that's going to be $1,199 in USA, and of course it's launching in September 2026. Finally, we have the Apple iPhone Fold, Apple's most premium iPhone to date. It features a 5.5-inch external display for everyday use, paired with a 7.8-inch internal folding OLED display with a wide tablet-like aspect ratio. Now both displays use punch-hole cameras, with the external camera at the top center of the display and the internal camera in the top left corner. And of course, the standout feature here is that when it's unfolded, the internal display has no visible crease from any angle. Now the device measures at just 9mm thick when it's folded and 4.5mm when unfolded, making it one of the thinnest book-style foldables ever. Now for the selfie camera, it's unknown at the moment, but at least the external punch hole is likely to be an 18 megapixel multi-aspect selfie camera. And then over on the rear, we've got a dual camera setup on a raised camera bar, and current rumors suggest Apple may deliver a 200 megapixel stacked primary camera, and that's going to be paired with a 48 megapixel ultra wide, and of course it's all alongside Apple's latest AI powered video features driven by an upgraded neural engine. Now it's going to be powered up by the A20 Pro chip and paired with 12GB of RAM and up to 2TB of storage, and it uses a dual battery system with an estimated combined capacity of around 5,600 mAh, designed to deliver consistent all-day battery life despite the large internal display. Instead of Face ID, Apple has integrated Touch ID into the power button, positioned right above the camera modules, and for connectivity we've got 5G, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and ultra wideband, and the device runs iOS 27 out of the box. Now the iPhone Fold is expected to launch in black and white color options, with pricing estimated at between $2,000 and $2,500, positioning it firmly as Apple's most expensive and most ambitious iPhone yet. So overall, the iPhone 18 lineup is shaping up to be a solid upgrade. Apple isn't reinventing the design here, and instead they're focusing on improving the hardware and refining the overall experience. The camera, display, and battery upgrades should all make a noticeable difference in day-to-day use, and AI is of course going to play a huge role with the new iOS, But if we're being honest, this is still an area where Apple is starting to fall really far behind, so hopefully this year they can catch up and bring something a bit more competitive. Now that said, given how similar it is to the previous generation, it's probably not going to make anyone with an iPhone 17 rush for an upgrade, but for those on an older device or considering their first iPhone, then it's going to be a great choice. Now as always, more and more leaks are going to come in as we approach the launch, and I'll be sharing them as soon as they do, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.